Surely there's an ironic space ethics parable involving bootstrapping, the dragging of feet, and the Sisyphean task of having to eternally remind anarcho-capitalists that things work out better when you're considerate toward others,
said Apollo to Elon.
I grant all of this,
Elon replied harshly.
but you have not yet shown me that such a parable should exist. And even if you had, you would still have to show that this parable was worth sharing. And what about it makes it worth sharing?
With some skepticism in their voice, Apollo asked,
South, will you admit to me that if I can clarify the nature and value of such a parable, then it would be worth sharing?
Elon responded without delay.
Vacuous conditionals are always true, so the logicians say.
Some moments later,
But I shall, out of a desire to remain focused on my passions, indulge your impossible, nigh, insane hypothetical.
Excellent. It is all I could have hoped. Zeno could strike us with infinite arrows before you'd even begin to consider taking shelter or donning shielding,
said Apollo, with a confidence that put Elon on edge. Elon fell into a rambling and defensive rationalization of his analogical deficits.
I cannot imagine any reason why such a parable would be worth sharing, even under your naive assumption that such a parable exists. In this metaphysically profligate case, there seems to me no reason why I ought to share the parable. And that is
I apologize, but I must interrupt with a query.
said Apollo.
Do you deny that being worth sharing is a reason to share a parable?
Hardly so. And if you'd not interrupted, you'd have realized I'd already anticipated you'd press me on this exact point. Just because something is a reason does not make it my reason. What I require is a reason to believe that if something is a reason, it is a reason for anyone. But you are clever enough to recognize this, and can likely list more counterexamples than I. So, this is not a productive framing of the issue, as I'm sure you're well aware. The issue is, you have not yet given me a reason to believe that if such a parable exists and it exists only if it is worth sharing, then such a parable is worth sharing. In a sense of worth sharing, that we could sort out during our next discussion. Without a reason to believe this, there is no obstacle to my both A, believing your implausible parable exists, and B, believing its existence makes it worth sharing, while retaining my sincere belief that C, I have no reason to share the parable.
Elon stated sternly.
You give me déjà vu,
replied Apollo.
However, it looks like my shift is about to begin. See you at evening mess, sir?
Elon started to respond, but stopped himself for a moment.
I need to swing by medbay. Internal sensors are indicating there's a cyst forming in my ankle. Just need it zapped. If I'm late to mess, that's the reason.
It was at that moment the Mars colony's reactor blew. Elon, the colony's founder and leader, had neglected to support the routine maintenance that would have kept its magnetic containment controls aligned. This was an oversight his assistant Achilles had always caught until this point in time. She happened to be on leave recovering from the removal of a cancerous growth in her ankle. The colony's lead physician was planning to clear her for a return to duty the next day. The last word heard by anyone on Mars was Apollo's goodbye to Elon.